Very, very warm welcome and greetings to all of you who have assembled here today for this beautiful session. Let us begin with an invocation prayer by our own music teacher, is Mallikarjun sir. And when he was 10-year old, he started learning music from his own father. And now he is appointed as a Hindustani classical vocal music teacher in our school. So I request Mallikarjun sir to render the prayer.
तुम बिना मोरे कौन खबर ले, गोवर्धन गिरिधारी मुरारी, गोवर्धन गिरिधारी। तुम बिना मोरे कौन खबर ले, गोवर्धन गिरिधारी मुरारी, गोवर्धन गिरिधारी। भरी सभा में द्रौपदी खाड़ी, भरी सभा में द्रौपदी खाड़ी, राखो लाज हमारी मुरारी, राखो लाज हमारी मुरारी, गोवर्धन गिरिधारी मुरारी, गोवर्धन गिरिधारी। मोर मुकुट पीतांबर सोहे, मोर मुकुट पीतांबर सोहे, कुंडली की छवि न्यारी रे मुरारी, कुंडली की छवि न्यारी रे मुरारी, गोवर्धन गिरिधारी मुरारी, गोवर्धन गिरिधारी। तुम बिना मोरे कौन खबर ले, गोवर्धन गिरिधारी मुरारी, गोवर्धन गिरिधारी। हरि थैंक
you so much. Let us give an appreciation to sir for that beautiful rendition.
Your voice
Thank
is
you so
echoing
much.
actually. Yeah.
Yes. Now we are here on 19th session. We started 19 months back this knowledge sharing session, and today is the 19th session that we are having. And our Gurudev used to beautifully say, don't just invest on children, invest in children. So what is this difference between in and on? Who other than our own dearest Shanti Krishnamurti ji will be describing, explaining, guiding all of us on this topic. Over to you, ma'am. I don't think ma'am needs any introduction. All of us know ma'am, and ma'am also doesn't want me to introduce, but ma'am is a director of academic and admin in our school. Thank you, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rajeshwari. And first of all, I really want all of you to give a big round of applause, a noiseless applause maybe, to the music teacher, a new teacher who has come, joined us, which is such a wonderful presentation that was done by him, the prayer. I think it's going to make a big difference to the school. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, Amma.
Yeah. So I think he's going to make a good difference to the school. And we've been having these sessions, a number of them I have attended also. I have listened to the speakers and all of that. I've been just telling Rajeshwari that we should now move towards parents also start speaking. So I really want all of you to look into, if you are capable or if you are having some ideas that can be presented, connected with education, you can volunteer and you can send your names, and we will look at, and we will also add points wherever, whatever could be added to it, and it will make a very good idea. Sharing of ideas will be very effective for all of you. All of us together, we can learn together. And so today the session also is not like I'm not going to be speaking. It's a different session altogether. And I am expecting all of you to give your views and join in this. And so that as we go forward, we are going to think together and evolve together to understanding of whatever is the topic is about. Rajeshwari gave an idea. I have one very small 3-4 slides to share with you. I'm going to share it before we start. So this is a slide which I felt will be a very, very good basis for starting today's session. I'm just going to give a small introduction to the topic as well. I'm sure you are aware that the PISA assessment is conducted for countries together. This is a program for international student assessment test for they collect 15-year-old students in dozens. A lot of countries are taken and they apply reading, science, maths, and other skills to real problems. And it is conducted internationally for all the countries. They select a good number of countries and conduct these exams. And it's conducted every 3 years. Every 3 years it is conducted. And the exam that was conducted in 2022, the results was shared in 2023. This is the PISA ranking. The ranking is, you can see the ranking. China stands first, then Singapore, then country like Estonia and Japan and South Korea, Canada, Finland, Poland, Ireland, UK. And they administered it for 73 countries, and India's was ranking 72 out of the 73 countries. So this was a very, very, startling factor for all of us in education, in the field of education, like the boards. Everybody was really wondering how could you work on this? By the time they had already realized the earlier one also, the ranking was not very, very good, something similar. So they started working on it, and they had released this the vision. They released, I'm sure you're aware, the national education policy was brought in and it was released in 2019. It came up after the last NEP policy was in 1986. 30 years the government did not do anything, and at last they decided we got to bring in some changes in the education pattern, and it was revised in 2019. And this is the vision that the national education policy, which was released in 2019. It was handed over to the HR Minister Javadekar by the Kasturi Rangan Committee. Kasturi Rangan was the chairman of ISRO for quite a number of years, and committee was framed, and he handed over with about 1 lakh suggestions. The national education policy was handed over to the government of India, released it in 2020. And very beautifully, you will see that the vision of national education policy is, the key factor is, it is about India-centered education system. They've realized that whatever has been going on in the country, they really, really wanted to bring up a major change. They wanted to make it an India-rooted education system. And also transforming the nation. The transforming the nation is a very, very ambitious outcome that we're expecting from this. And of course, the earlier policy used to say provide education to all, but now this policy says quality education to all is what is the dream of vision of this national education policy. And when it was released, our Honorable Prime Minister made the statement that it is going to create a new India of the 21st century. If the policy is implemented, it will create a new India in the 21st century. And he also mentioned that people will all over from the world will come to India to study. It will become a global destination for education. Look at the ambitious policy. Look at the vision with which the policy has been released. And if you see, then you're talking about the India-based education system, the India-rooted education system. What is it that they are talking about? They're talking about the Bharatiya way of learning. They're talking about Bharatiya way of learning. I will talk to you about Para Vidya and Apara Vidya, what it was there in our system. But this is what is the dream today. They want to bring back the glory of the Indian education system. And you can see this was the major damage that happened to our country. This is a statement which Lord Macaulay has sent it. Some say this is not true, but we don't know this. This particular item has been circulated many times. I've seen this. Lord Macaulay, he has written to British Parliament after spending some time in 1834. He visited many cities in India and he went around the country and he has written back and he says that I've traveled across the length of breadth of India and I have not seen one person who is a beggar, who is a thief. Such wealth I have seen in this country, such high moral values, people of such caliber that I do not think we would ever conquer this country unless we break the very backbone of this nation, which is our cultural and spiritual heritage. Therefore, I propose that we replace the old and the ancient education system, our culture, for if the Indians think all that is British is good, they will be completely, then only we will be able to rule them. This is what was the statement given by that. So you see, this is I think he's a very, very powerful visionary. Lord Macaulay is a very powerful visionary. Today, what we are seeing, this is what is happening all over the country. And I'm very closely working with CBSE and all of that. I'm very honestly sharing with you. From 2019-20, the policy has been released. But till 5 years, they are wondering how to bring back the education system. How to bring back the education system is what they are struggling. They really don't know how to bring back the education system. Because that was completely different, completely unique of its own. As I mentioned to you about the earlier education system, believed in para and apara knowledge. The para knowledge is all about spiritual knowledge, the spiritual knowledge on about life, whatever about person, that is what is called as the para knowledge. All other things were called as apara knowledge. The study of sciences, the study of mathematics or languages, they are all called as apara knowledge, which refers to the material subjects, material license. The main one is about the self and how one has to live life, how one has to keep yourself fit, and how one can live in this life as a good human being. That was the para knowledge that was attempted in our Gurukula system earlier. When they are talking about Bharatiya way of learning, that is what is the Bharatiya way of learning. So in fact, last year I got a request from CBSE, can you write a lesson on Panchakosha Tattva, and so that we want to take it forward. They really, really are struggling how to bring Panchakosha and all of that. They brought a booklet on Panchakosha, a concept of knowledge for the primary school children, but it's still going on with a lot of revisions and editions are going on in that. Because the system of education was that one was based off of reverence. Reverence was the basis of education. I'm sure you will all agree with me. I mean, even the middle-aged people sitting here, you know how much was the respect the teachers had in the society. Was a guru, that was the position gurus had in the society, and that was what was going on so beautifully. And how did they, even a child getting into a starting education, what was the first step of learning? They were not given a pen and asked to write A for apple. That's what we are doing right now. That is what we are doing, but it was not the practice there. When a child starts education, first foremost thing, what was taught to him was how to breathe properly. Pranayam was the first education that was given. When somebody takes the prana fully, inhales and exhales, the whole body, the metabolism of the body gets well and they are able to work on it. And this was the foundation of our earlier system of education that went through. And another very important thing was, you must have heard in our scriptures and all of that, even a king would leave the child under a guru. And he will not live like a king there, he will live like a student there. So leaving the comfort zone, that was the first readiness for learning. Child has to leave the comfort zone and go and serve the guru and learn from the guru. That was the way of learning, was that. Of course, we cannot bring back that Gurukula system right now. We don't have such gurus also nowadays. That's a different issue altogether. But when we look at it, you see the importance that was given to the physical body. The yoga was the first lessons were given. The child first initial few stages is taught only pranayama and taught, the good taking early morning, getting up early morning, going to a river and taking bath in cold water, coming out of the comfort zone was the first step that was taken. But I can see Britishers did not just rule us and go away. They did one thing, one very important thing, which is a massive way we are all struggling now back, is they completely colonized the whole country. Colonize mean they created a mindset of people, that the mindset, they worked on the mindset of people. Everybody is completely become now, we are all Britishers living in India right now. The very fact that I have to use English to talk to you. You see the English medium schools, all that in a big way. And we got into the style, the lifestyle started changing. It penetrated into our lives, that so much of it has happened that I don't know, Prime Minister says that it's going to be a new India, but how, when it is going to happen? How are we going to bring back the glorious past, the education system that was there? And what people have achieved in that education system, we are talking about experiential learning, we are talking about activity-based learning, all of that. You know, what was the education system that earlier was? It was about intuitive way of learning. Intuitive learning was the main impact, that people were taught to meditate and they believed that the entire universe is full of this knowledge. And when you align yourself, when you fine tune yourself, when you become silent, when the mind is calm and quiet, the knowledge dawned on them. The rishis and munis, they meditated and the knowledge dawned on them. They never had to study, go have notebooks and write and all of that. No teaching, no classroom like that. That was such a glorious system, which no country can talk about the various intuitive learning there. You know, the Vedas and Upanishads, we don't even know who wrote it. Vedas, Upanishad, the people meditated and it's all this knowledge was dawned on them, and then some part of it we could get it, the country has it today. Some of it is not even available today. The Vedic mathematics was completely destroyed because they never thought. Another very important thing is they did not believe in copywriting this. Today I write one poem, I want to copyright it. It belongs to me. We want to say that. But that was not the concept those days. They believed that it is all the form Lord's knowledge. The Lord is giving the knowledge, and we have no rights, cannot be taken by us. We can't claim rights on that. That was a concept there. That's why we don't even know who wrote what books. We don't even know in our Indian scriptures. And Veda Vyas wrote some 1 lakh shlokas and all of that. Imagine in one's lifetime, it is not possible to achieve that. All was done in intuitive. They meditated and then they could really get it. And I'm sure you are aware of about Ramanujam. Ramanujam was a mathematics wizard. He was a mathematics wizard, and anything he could see numbers. He could see the combination of numbers. He could see the cubes in a number, car number. He says, oh, this is sum of cubes of a number. Like that he was, and he went to London, Oxford, and he wanted to get the fellowship program there. He wanted to get a fellowship. He went there. One guide called him there, and he went there to study, and he used to give answers. He see a problem, he used to give answers. And then the Oxford University told him, you can't get a fellowship like this. You have to give all the steps. You can't give the answer in one go. You will not be given fellowship. And he says, I can't talk about all the steps and all of that because it's all revealed to me. As I look at the problem, then the answer and the solution is revealed to me. He was in a meditation all the time. He used to talk about his family deity, Namagiri Devi, and he used to say, Namagiri Devi is writing it on my tongue when I'm meditating. People used to call him, what happened to him? Like that, they used to look at him. But that was the kind. Today, even 1/8 of a Ramanujam's problem is solved. Harvard University is willing to give them a doctorate. One portion of it, if somebody could solve, nobody is able to solve problems and how they have done. So that was the richness of our knowledge. That is a very, very important richness of our knowledge, and how we have got westernized. We have come a long way going towards marks, scores, and only give children studying only for marks. And then they equate education towards marks, and then getting into a school education where get good marks, and then going to a good university. From good university, good career placement, and good career placement, I'll get good salary. So the equating education to money somewhere down the line has completely eroded our education system there. So this is something which we need to understand how we are going to. In CIRS, we make children do a lot of meditation. I am very honestly sharing with you, some of the 12th standard children, before exams, they go sit in front of Gurudev in the Aarti hall, and then they meditate quietly. That is the reason they are absolutely having clarity, the way, the kind of results they are getting. You can see that this time IB results are amazing. One child has got 45 and 45. Another one has got world topper he is, and one child getting 44 on 45. Out of 21 people, 13 of them, am I right, Ganesh? 13 of them have got above 40 on 45. No school has
Yes.
results. And these children are not going for tuition. We are teaching them, and they are doing the Aarti, they are doing spiritual class, they are doing magazines they are releasing, they are doing sports day, everything they are doing, because they are also understanding the value of being silent and making themselves calm and all of that. So they practice it. And as I told you, it is very important as parents. Actually, I have to congratulate all of you. You have taken the first step of sending them to a kind of a Gurukul here. It's a kind of a Gurukul where you have sent them there. But at the same time, we also need to evaluate how we can work on certain aspects, which if we still improve on certain things, that will make a big difference. So in a Gurukula, in the ancient education system, people were sacrificing things. Do you agree with me? They were used to sacrifice. They used to sacrifice their comfort, and then they go attend seek under a guru. A Raja used to go and do sarda, pair dabana padta hai guru ko, and then learn. He can't say, I'm a king, I will not touch your feet. That was the first thing, was they have to leave all the comfort, they have to come, because Vinayata is the most important aspect of education. If you're humble, if you are humanitarian, all aspects of human you have, knowledge will completely, you will be exceed in life. Whatever you want to achieve will be achieved. That is what is the concept of education is all about. So how do we, what happens today is, you see, even in our schools, ARS school also, we are giving a lot of values to children. The school is packed with values. Right from morning to evening, we give values. We make children work with projects in such a way that they really, it soaks in them, that value soaks in them. But you also have to understand, when they come out of the school, are they going to compromise the values, or they are going to sacrifice the comfort and stand with values? Think about it. We need to think about it. So for that, one very important thing I thought we all must do is, we must keep them having a simple living here. Simple living will really, really help children to understand what I am here for. These are the 12 long years I'm in a school, I'm studying. I need to have simple lifestyle. I want you to talk about what I'm saying. Between compromise and sacrifice, what do you think is the difference? Please speak up. It's not intended to be one side. I wanted your views, because you're all parents. Between compromise and sacrifice, how do you think, what is the difference? And how can we look at children taking a step towards sacrifice and not compromising on what they've got? See, they've got a lot of things. At any instant when they go, they are going to hit with a problem. What are they going to do? Are they going to compromise the value they got? Or they are going to stand up with their value system and say, I shall sacrifice this, but I will not go for a wrong thing. This is what we need to think about if you want to have an impact of what is given in the school, impacting them. Can anybody unmute and speak? Anybody, come on. It's just a very simple thing. I'm wanting you to speak. It will give me motivation to go further.
Can I speak?
Yeah, hello,
Yes,
madam.
ma'am. Please, ma'am. Inshi, ma'am.
What is coming to me is, I think when people want to do something, it's not about sacrifice. It's about having the drive and the passion to do it. And at that point, I don't think you look at it as a sacrifice to do it. That's the first thing that's coming.
You think the sacrificing is not a term. I'll put it why I said compromise or sacrifice. I look at it like this, that when you have something higher in life, when you drop the lower, that is called a sacrifice. Like choosing between something. When you have to choose this or this, and if the lower you are dropping, because I want to go higher in my life, maybe a little extra step I have to take. When you do that, that is called as a sacrifice. But if you drop the higher, I have a principle, I want to reach there, I want to achieve this in life, but right now I will compromise. I will make some compromise, but I will let go of my goal, but I will enter into this. That's how people are getting into bad habits and all of that when they go. See, when they go out of colleges.
Ma'am, can I say something?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, ma'am, I am Neeraj.
Sir, we can't hear you, sir.
Yeah, okay, ma'am. Ma'am, can you hear me right now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Ma'am, I am Neeraj Khemka. For me, sacrifice is like being in discipline,
Yeah.
always. And
Excellent.
when we come out from the discipline, that is compromising.
Exactly. That's what we mean, ma'am. When I say compromise, that's what I mean. You have got a kind of a set of discipline norms that I shall not do this, I will do this, I will sacrifice even my own comfort if I have to help somebody. These are things. And if you hold on to the lower, dropping the higher, that is what is we are referring to as compromise. Anybody else would like to speak?
May I speak, ma'am?
Yeah, please, ma'am, please.
I think adjustment is like, compromise is making small adjustment in day-to-day life. Like, and sacrifice is when you are willing to leave something for something higher, you know?
Correct. So what do you
That's it,
say,
ma'am.
which is needed? Compromise is needed or some sacrifice is needed?
I think one should be flexible enough to make little adjustments according to the circumstances, and sacrifice if needed. Of course, yes, it must be done. I mean, if you think your goal is, you know, if you will leave something and you reach somewhere higher, and you'll get something high. If you have a higher aim, then little sacrifices is okay. I mean,
Okay, that's your
if
view.
it will take you in some positive direction, so it's good.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Anybody
Hariom,
else?
ma'am, can I take a minute here to share my thoughts on
Yes,
on
sir.
the
Yes, sir.
I think you're touching upon something very critical in terms of the difference between what is a sacrifice and what is a compromise. I think all of us go through in our daily lives, between sacrificing and compromising. And in my mind, I think the term compromise means you are willing to lower your standards. It could be whatever those standards are in terms of professional standards, in terms of personal standards, ethics. You're willing to lower that standard that you have set originally. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible, sir.
Okay. And to achieve whatever your objectives are, and typically compromise, when as a person we are compromising, it also indicates that, look, your value system is allowing you to lower those standards just to kind of meet those objectives, right? So there is a bit of negative connotation with the term compromise, whether you're doing it for whatever the end goal is. I think the term jugaad is also used loosely along with this. So to me, compromise has got, it could be quality standards that we are compromising. We are compromising on our on our personal values. So all those have, and another important thing here is, as parents, when we are compromising on certain things in life, as in a daily lives, the children who are watching us, we don't need to tell them anything. When we keep telling them, look, you need to have the values, you need to live by those standards, but we as parents are not able to. For example, that speaks very different language to the children. So to me, compromise is something that is a big no. And sacrifice is actually got a positive connotation, whereas parents, we tend to sacrifice a lot of things for the benefit of our children. That's typically what has been our culture. And we also sacrifice some of our time, personal time, for taking care of somebody else. Maybe in the office, we are working long hours. It's a sacrifice we are doing actually, so that we reach a better outcome for the organization, for the boss you're working, for our families. So that way, I think we should encourage children to sacrifice.
Yeah.
For the larger good.
Very true, sir. Actually, you have really hit that point. I hit the nail on it. This is exactly what I am talking about, to say that at every point, children, if they start compromising, we have had cases, our CRS children are doing very well, but we also have few children who got lost into this. Brilliant student, but he compromised on his own goal. He should have been one of the topmost person. Personally, I have taught the child. I have been in the class here, and I know he can go to great heights, but he completely got confused when he went out and stayed with people, got into video game and all of that. He kept compromising on whatever his own goal was something much different. He was very powerfully talking about the goal, but where he compromised, when he started compromising, I do not know. Then now, of course, he's coming back to the line now. Well, fortunately, father, mother, everybody worked on him and we could help him. Even personally, school also helped him. He came back on it. But then you see, this is not one single item. You see, so many children are there and anybody can start. If they start compromising, there is no end to it. Then they start make one small compromise today, and then you'll see tomorrow or next time what they will do. So it's something very, very, very essential for us to understand whatever we are doing here, how will we prepare them for it? At school, we are doing a lot of ideas. We are talking to them. We are keeping inspiring them that you have aim higher and work for it. Everything is possible. You have potential. We are providing all that. But at home also, what you can provide, how we can make children understand. One very important thing I'm thinking is strongly, I personally feel is that children need not go for so much of, costly items and things like this now at this stage. They will never understand what is simple living at all. When they're simple, it's very easy to not get into compromising on that. So it's very important that we all look at children today. You see, I don't want you to take me wrongly, but CRS children are wanting to get all branded items. They want to come with the top, the branded shoes and branded shirt. And there are some parents, sometimes even our own staff people feel that we can't afford it. These children seeing that child, this child wants it. So it is as a group, we need to ensure that we make children understand valuables are not that important as values. You tell me which is more important. Values are important or valuables are important. You have all made the first sacrifice. I'm telling you. You have taken the first sacrifice step of sending your children to a boarding school. It's not easily done by parents. You know how much you all love them. And you are staying away from them. The first sacrifice is you have taken it already. And so they should understand my parents have sacrificed this. There need not be so much of luxury with them. I'm not telling them don't, you love them. I know you can do it. But when you are attending to the children, when they are coming to a school or even when they are at home, they should themselves be able to say, now, this is not for me now. This is the age I am there. I'm a student now. I don't have to go for such costly things and costly matters. I can stick on to what, being a simple, you can demonstrate it. So the whole school, we all feel that this can be a place where they are already using to compromising such costly stuff in the school. This is one thing I seriously think that all parents need to think about it. What do you think about?
Can I take a minute? Sorry.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I'm a first year parent. I'm a chartered accountant.
Yeah.
So this is something like you said, this is very prevalent, and my daughter has already almost faced this kind of saying, you are not rich enough kind of taunt. So I've just told her to take it in a stride and just keep moving, because again, like, I totally subscribe to what you've been saying, and I always think it's what is in you and not is what is on you, be it the simple tattoo or the gadgets or the clothes.
Absolutely.
But unfortunately, I think most parents, in order to overcompensate their
love,
separation anxiety and everything, I think that is in the pretext of pampering or in the pretext of setting higher standards. The higher standards ideally should be what they bring to the table, what they score, and how their attitude to life is.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for understanding what I'm saying.
Yeah. So in fact, this is in the first month or so. I think one of the a year or two senior, one of the children had told that you are not rich enough, kind of a thing. So which I keep writing to her saying, no, this is okay. There are different types of people. You are there to typically experience this and learn to take it in your stride rather than say why is this and why is that.
Perfectly. Thank you so much, sir. I think anybody else, you feel that what I'm saying is really, really important, and we can all cooperate in this matter, that nobody is, really, it's not nice for children to feel that I'm not rich, I'm not able to get it in what my friend is having or my roommate is having. That is what Gurudev used to say. Don't invest on the children, invest in the children. This is what is the topic today. So let's invest in them, talk to them, find out what they are good at, what their ambition is, what they want to do in life. You see, most of the children have not got clarity even in 9th, 10th standard, 11th standard, what they want to do. Find out from them what they have to do. We have a fantastic achievements by our alumni. You know that Soham Desai was here. He addressed the students. He was supposed to be the chief guest for our sports day. I don't know you are aware of that. He is the coach, strengthening coach for the Indian cricket team. He was there when the T20 match was won, and he was there. And everybody, all the cricketers look up to him. He says, such a values. How did you manage this, get these values? He's saying he's very clear, very strict, very impartial when he handles all the cricketers. And they come to him for even their personal problems and all of that. And he also mentions how the outside world is. Even these youngsters, they're getting a lot of money and all of that. So they're completely losing track of what they are doing and what they really want to achieve in life. So we don't want them to lose that track. We have somebody, one boy was here a week ago, Shashwat was here. He is in a, what is the position, Ganesh? He's in Google. You are muted.
Yes, he is working for the creative lab of Google, where only 5 people are recruited in the world. And these are the 5 people who work on the AI integration. And he is one of the main persons in the creation of AI, that is Gemini AI.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You look at the way children are achieving things. I have a photographer who learned, who started photography in school here, and he is a freelance photographer for New York Times. He sends it to me. He's working in New York, but he's also doing it as a freelance photographer. Children can reach great heights. And these kind of disturbances, having a lot of comfort and a lot of branded things and all of that, it will make them deviate from the path where they want to achieve things. I can speak about this because very honestly, clearly, I'm telling you, I've spent this is going to be the 49th year I'm in the field of education. And I've got so much of experience handling teachers and children and all of that. Believe me, I really want CARS to make this big turn. If all parents together decide this is not required, you have to put your foot down and bring this concept into the minds of children, being simple and gathering the best from CARS, what is offered here. It will take them to a phenomenal heights. You're not looking at small things they are going to achieve. They are going to achieve something. All of us are going to be really, really proud of it. This is what is ready waiting for them. So they have to more give importance to values than the valuables. So they hold on to it, the valuables, so much that they really don't know, they're losing track of it. I think the very, very important thing is the focus should be on how they are going to go ahead forward. Because I feel that this is the first sacrifice parents have done it already. You are not keeping children with you at home and you have sent them here. So it should be followed by understanding of why this sacrifice has been done. Then when they come home or when they are wanting things, you have to be polite, kind, at the same time, be firm and understanding. It's not required for a school. We send all these letters to the parents saying that do not send costly items to school. This is a request it is made. But somehow parents, they love them so much, and love need not be shown in these articles and items. You spend time with them, solid time with them. This is a sincere thing. I think you should all think about it. You should think about it because this is something which we can bring in a change in them. Then they're not going to get lost in video games and things. When children get lost in it, I feel that where is the direction? What has it happened to them? What has happened to them? And we have such lovely students. Today I was talking to the 12th standard students. We had a boy called Harsh Garodia. He was a topper in management section. And he went abroad to US to study. He got all scholarships, everything, and he went there abroad. First year, due to unfortunately, he lost his father. He took a decision. He said, my mother needs me. I will go back to India and study with her. Then stay with my mother in Ranchi. I will help her. And he has completed his chartered accountancy in the first attempt and is doing amazingly well then. So you see the way people leave the comfort things and come out to do right things in life is something is possible unless we offer it to them, to learn it to them. That is something very, very essential. Learning happens. It will be otherwise, lopsided. One side, we want children to go to a boarding school and study because they are going to become every time we conduct interviews for admission, Without an exception, all parents says, I want him to come out as a good human being. That's why we are sending them here. And I truly understand, because there are schools are there everywhere. Every city has got schools. Every city has got tuition centers. You can make them get marks. Marks is not that very, difficult for parents to send a child away from home. You are sending them away, and you have to think about, how do I achieve my goal in coming out? You can come out extraordinary achievements he can do, provided we all understand. This was what the ancient education system was: come out of your comfort zone. And they have to do all exercises. They have to go take bath in cold water in the morning. Nobody is allowed to get up late in the morning. So what happens when children come home? You have to be sometime understand. They get up at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. They take brunch together. Maybe you can't help it. You're not able to handle it. I mean, I don't want to get in too much into all of this. Children are going to get angry with me, ma'am. What you told our parents? I don't want them to be, feeling thing about. But this one point, at least, please extend support to us. I really request you to support to us, because I feel very, very bad when some parents come and tell me, ma'am, I can't afford it. I'm wanting to study her make her study in CARS, but I can't afford it. But every time she comes and backs home and fights with me, saying, you are not even giving me this, you can't see my friends, you should see. But it is not very appropriate if things are happening. This one point, I have to make it very, very strongly. I volunteered. I told Rajeshwari, you give me time today. I want to speak to the parents, because most understanding parents we partner in everything. And if you all decide, understand this point, keep it in mind. I don't want you to now take away, come on, give the watch, give the thing like that. But keep it in mind before you are spending on them like in a big way, something like getting them an Apple Watch and a Apple thing and all of that. Just be careful about it, because that will not help us. All our goals also can get distracted. We may final and understand later, because when I talk about children who have achieved great, there are children who are also losing track. That also I have few examples that they have not made to achieve things. Like this one boy I mentioned, he was in a high scholarship. He was studying in a beautiful university and he was making extremely well. And suddenly, after 1 year, the mother got a call from the school, college, university, come and take him. He's completely engaged in video games, that he's sleeping in the classroom and he's got addicted to it. His face was swollen. He was admitted in the hospital, and the mother had to go and get him home, and she was admitted. Kid was admitted in Coimbatore. And then after a lot of counseling, everything, he came out. He realized his mistake. He went, the university was kind enough to allow him to go back and study. You think, where is the starting point for this? Think about it. So it is better now you do not give an access to so much of fun and costly things to children that they get carried away by all of this. And certainly I'm not appreciating if a girl goes and tells her father, why are you not giving me? I don't feel like going to school. This is what that one parent told me. Because everybody comes with the shoes and the shirts. They wear only branded shirts and branded things like that. So that is not required. Yes, ma'am. You want to Sheetal, ma'am? Yes, ma'am. Unmute and speak, ma'am.
Hari Om, ma'am. Ma'am, this is around 12 years back. My husband used to stay in Kontai, and Gitika and myself, we used to stay in Kolkata. So one weekend he came to Kolkata and he took Gitika for shopping. And he got her from some good frocks and everything. So at night, when he was taking it, I did not say anything. At night, we were just discussing. So I said, Ritesh, is it that valuable will be matter to her, or your quality time will be matter to her? Even going to Victoria with her and having just peanuts will be like, she will remember that for life.
I know.
So I abhi Gitika ka birthday hai next month. So Avantika was like, what will we take for Didi? We will take something good gift or something like that. I said, see, I can't think of anything right now. We took out our old diary. She used to do journaling. So we wrote the power of spoken words, which we want her to speak every day. And I have gifted that as a gift to her for her birthday. I said, I gifted her in advance. I said, you say these words and this will bring the value.
Yes. Very wonderful, ma'am. Really good. That's actually, we need to encourage children spending time with you all when you are there, when children are there in the school. Somehow influence them. They don't have to go to mobile and talk to their friends. They are with the friends here all the time. So they should respect your time. And we send that, talk to them. Before they go, we talk to them in the assembly saying them, please spend time with your parents. If you have grandparents, go and meet them. Talk to them, talk to your grandparents. And if you have uncle, aunties, go and connect with all your relations and do that. Anyway, you're going to be going there. But sometimes parents write to us. I tell you, when I was a principal, a mother came all the way down and told me, ma'am, can you tell her to be with me when she comes here? She's only talking to her friends. Mobile phone, they're all on the friends all the time. So I used to speak to children also. Why don't you spend some quality time with your parents? That's more important. Because that is what is going
She
to
wrote
make
letters. She wrote letters from the school, and they are really a treasure for us. With like Matra, the shloks and all, everything
yeah,
she's written.
Shravanam, yeah.
That, and with the meaning. Then along with that, on her father's birthday, on each photograph, she's written her feelings. So I feel this is more valuable to us than the.
So I request everybody to think about it. This is a topic
Thank
which
you
I
so much.
am throwing it here today, but think about it. Even my own daughters, I mean, personally, I can tell you, both of them studied in IIT. I lived in Jamshedpur. I was the principal in Chinmaya School, Jamshedpur, and they used to travel only by sleeper. And they used to tell me, we will earn and then we'll come by AC. Don't worry. They'll say that much. I was proud of it when they said. I never thought, Bichara log, why they have to go by sleeper coach and all of that. I said, good, that's something coming from you is really nice to hear. And they're doing very well now, and they've completed studies. They are really doing well, and now they are having all the time, and they realize what they've done. They realize what they have done. It's a sacrifice. This is what I'm talking about. A little sacrifice they have done because they wanted not daddy spend everything, and I will have to stand on my feet. All that is a beautiful quality. Don't you agree? Think about it. It's a beautiful quality to know that I'm not going to tax my father, but I'm going to stand on my own feet and then do it. It's a very, very powerful self identity of a child. So let's nurture all of that, sick things like that. And they want to go out and do something, you help them, take them out, spend as much time with them when they are coming. And you have to make them understand this. We keep talking to them here, but as a mob, their children get peer pressure, I should say, peer pressure of having a branded shirt and branded shoes, 8,000 rupees shoes. 10,000 rupees shoes, all that. The one kids which is 150 rupees is good enough. You wear it, throw it, buy it again and wear it. That should be good enough. And there, I have to tell you another one very important area which I am concerned. I've been in the school since 2009. It's almost 15 years. I'm here nowadays. I visit not regularly, permanently I'm here, but I find, you know what? Costly things will be lying near the swimming pool. They won't even ask. They won't even complain, I lost something. Last week I found one very, very beautiful umbrella and a water bottle. All are, I'm sure, very costly ones. Both of them lying there and raining. I went and picked up. I asked somebody, can you find out whose is this? Did somebody complain that they lost it? Nobody has complained. Nobody has even asked for it. So this is what they will develop, that feeling of, I have so much, I don't mind. I can buy one more. That is kind of a thing we should not give that. You tell me, is it correct to have that feeling? All over you will find notebooks and books thrown. They won't even ask for it. Umbrellas are thrown. Rajeshwari, what do you say? Dining hall, every day we'll find 10, 15 umbrellas lying there. Who brought it? We don't know. Then we tell them, write your roll number on box so that the Annas there can come and reach it. The best part is next day they will go and order in the store. I want umbrella. They just don't think that I had an umbrella, I lost it, shall I make complaint? You know what I'm telling you? There is a lost and found office we have near HM office. We used to keep it, and please come and claim. We used to address it in the assembly. Please, there are a lot of items lying. Why don't you come and claim? They will not come and claim. Then you know what we started doing? We used to take the pictures of the items and then show it in the assembly. Look at this. Then after the assembly, one girl will come. She'll say, ma'am, this is mine. And then one boy will say, ma'am, that is my watch. I said, you didn't even ask the RHP. I don't know where I kept, ma'am. That is something in the CIRS culture. Please buy your Beno, Sochiye. I don't want it. That kind of a lavish thing is not requested. It is not appreciable, right? They don't even ask for it. They just, in the field you go, somebody's sweater will be lying there. And then they will go and order, I want a new sweatshirt. This should be, we have to make more simple living here. It is a wonderful place where values are given importance. Values are the main focus here. We are not running the school for getting marks. They are getting marks as a byproduct. I have no hesitation in saying this. Because they are meditating, because they are chanting, because they are doing sports and everything else, they are given forums to talk. They are given, mics are available for children to present their own views and all of that. All that has made that personality that they are able to do well. And our teachers go and see, children are now, go today, the whole, about 50 children had gone out to some competition in a city. And they've come first in so many events, they've come first. And today, whatever teachers taught, they will teach again on Monday for these children. That is what we do. Call the children after school, go to the dorm in the night and sit with them and we teach. So that is how they are all managing so well. Academics is managed so well. Outstanding results in the 10th standard this time. I tell you, hardly 3 children out of 80 children got even 60%. Everybody is above 90%, 80%. That's what they're getting. We are able to achieve it because of the team here and all of that. But there are these things which we need to work on. Okay, I'm not going to take more than, I think I've taken already 10 more minutes. This is a very humble request to all of you. Let's all work together. If you feel what I said was meaningful, give me a thumbs up. I want you to give me a thumbs up to understand I did not waste your time. Because even if one of you feel this was not needed, why ma'am went on about it. But when we bring in this culture of simple living, you know, more and more will follow. That will also become infectious. Everybody will follow that and all of that. So let's all take it as a task that children be more, understanding about how money cannot be wasted. Money wasting is not what we are wanting to teach children. We want to make children become sensible enough, use a right way. And this is a message I wanted to give. And I started with talking about what is Indian system of education, because that's where people used to leave everything and go and study. And that is what is the essence of Indian education system. And I'm sure it will make an impact. I'm very hopeful that you people will think about it. And if you feel what I'm saying is right and it makes sense, please talk it with your children and bring in this change slowly. Let us change. Thank you so much. I thank you so much for your valuable time and patient listening. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Hari Om.
Thank you, Hari Om.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, ma'am.
Enjoy interacting with all of you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
I always
Thank you so much,
enjoy
ma'am.
seeing the ARS
Thank you.
Thank you. So let's do the closing prayer.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, ma'am.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om, ma'am.
Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Thank you so much, Amma. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hari Om, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Hari Om,
Hari Om,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Hari Om, ma'am.
Yeah, and
Hari Om,
31st,
ma'am.
there is a every day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, one second. I just
Hari
want
Om, ma'am.
one more announcement that Gurudev's chapter 9 talks are being played in the Chinmaya channel. And on the 31st, CARS children are chanting the 9th chapter fully before Gurudev's talk. Some of you can listen to it if you have time. I think Rajeshwari will send an official circular about it. Thank you so much. Hari Om. Thank you, all of you.
Hari Om, ma'am. Thank
Hari
you.
Om.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Hari Om, Hari Om.
Hari Om, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Hari Om.
Hari Om, ma'am.